Good evening, everybody. We've got a few coming in here. We'll just hang out for just a couple of minutes and see how many people we get in here. We'll get started in just a few. Hope everybody's doing all right. Got to get my sheet ready to take notes for the trading post portion. If you're just coming in, jump in the chat. Let me know who's watching, where you're watching from, all that good stuff. See several jumping in here. All right. Almost ready to get started here. Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Give me a minute. Let's get to the air first. Then we'll get that going. Several of you watching, good evening, everybody. Let's get ready to rock and roll here tonight. Hope everybody's doing all right. Let's count it down. All right, coming to air. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to HamShackTV. I'm your host, Josh, A4WX. This is the HamShack Trading Post and Roundtable. Several of you joining in. Appreciate everybody being here. And folks, we have to start the show right off the bat. This is crazy. He's got to have that clip played. Play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man. All right, let's.
Appreciate the 20 as always, Jason. It's awesome. And Jason's in the waiting room. We'll bring him in here in just a minute. Let's go back to the chat, see who else we got in here. We've got, let's see, Dave's in there. He's also in the waiting room. We'll bring him in just a minute. John Bubley, it's good to see you, buddy. Glad to see you here. Leroy from M&L Radio Technologies here. We will see him on Saturday at the Knoxville Ham Fest. Of course, Jason said he's already here. Joe Birdwell is here, WB9VVH. Good to see him. Let's see here. Moving on down through the list. I think we've got everybody. Guys, go ahead and jump in the, go ahead and take the link for the show and share it out. Let's get as many people in here watching as we can. Let's go ahead and get the usual suspects on the board here. If I can figure out how to bring them back. What did I do? There we go. I did it. Let me get them unmuted. There they are. Dave's in the house, KE6GAE. And Jason, of course, KQ4UEI. Good evening, gentlemen. What's up?
What's up?
Oh, not a whole bunch. I was starting to think that you just didn't want us to come into the stream anymore.
Oh, no. I got to do the intros, you know. I got to get them fired up. I mean, heck, Jason coming in here with a dang 20 already. He's got to get it set, you know. So
you're right. Got to get the mood, you know.
It's awesome. Hey, Leroy's pointing something out. New headset for Jason. We've been testing on that. We were testing on that before the stream. Still got a little bit of a clicking going on, but we're not hearing the echo anymore. So that's helpful.
Making progress. Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, Andy N0APX, he will be here shortly. Said he was running a little late. It is his wife's birthday. So, special shout out to her. Happy birthday. Haven't heard from Nolan yet. Hopefully, Nolan will join us here in a little while. So, let me go ahead. I'm going to drop the link in the chat for the swap shop or the trading post, whatever you want to call it. If you've got something to buy, sell, or trade, you'll use this link, and it's very similar to joining Zoom. Very similar, not quite the same, but very similar. So just click on that link, and it'll ask you a few things. Go ahead and jump in there. When you do, let me remind you guys of a couple of rules here. I don't know if I have the rules handy. Let's see. Somewhere in here. Nope. I buried it somewhere. All right. So just off of my memory, can't be commercial. You got to be, just swapping gear around, that kind of thing. You have to be willing to ship. This broadcast goes out all over the world. So we do require you to have a shipping option. You can charge the shipping to the buyer, though. That is totally okay. We just don't necessarily only allow cash transactions. You need to be able to ship as well. That's really about it. And also, the gear has to be radio related. So if you've got something to buy, sell, or trade, come on in here and join that link, and we'll get you in here. I do want to note that the ID 52A that I had is gone. Thankfully, somebody picked that up. I do still have my 5100 available. It will be, unless somebody picks it up tonight, it will be on the table at the Knoxville Ham Fest this weekend. All right, I'm done talking. Somebody else talk.
How's everybody doing this fine evening? And thank you, ML, for the lookout for the headset. Appreciate it.
Oh, so that is a complete new headset, huh?
Oh, no, this is my trucker's headset. I've had it. I just couldn't get it connected and figured it out. But yeah, it's a new headset for the Serenia.
Well, it does sound better. That's for sure. I'm not hearing myself. I don't hear Dave through you either. So,
and you said I was good, Dave.
Yeah, I'm not listening to myself when I'm talking. I'm kind of like Nolan. I don't like to listen to myself.
Yeah, I felt bad that night. I was like trying everything I could. So when caused a problem, when I can figure it out and play with it today, and I figured out, oh, it does have Bluetooth. Go figure. But it's all well. We're good.
Yeah.
So you guys got plans for field day?
Well, I was actually about to bring that up. You guys already know this because of some of the discussions we've been having. Unfortunately, next Thursday, well, fortunately but unfortunately at the same time, next Thursday I'm going to be traveling. I'll be heading up to Maryland for a family trip. So I will not be on the stream. However, all is not lost. Andy's going to run the stream. So you don't get to listen to my big-winded mouth all day. He'll set us up and get it off and running, and y'all have a total different feel to it, I'm sure. But really excited to let him, take a stab at it and see how he can do with it. But
it's going to be about an in-fed biscuit all night.
I guarantee you it will. Fireworks
Several.
So yeah, he'll be shooting the fireworks and doing all that good stuff, and I appreciate him carrying it on. We don't want to take a break, and honestly, I'm not afraid to stream while I travel. I mean, y'all saw I did it at Dayton, but I'm literally going to be driving during the time of the show, so be a little difficult to run this stream and drive at the same time. But Andy will take care of it. But back to field day, I am going to be participating in field day with the Chesapeake Bay Radio Association. So good opportunity to get out and try something a little different, see some other folks and that kind of thing. What about you guys?
Well, going out with my club, we're taking our trailer out to a local elementary, going to operate for the full 24 hours, portable out there. Well, we'll be out where public will be able to see us, and hopefully I've been talking to a lot of people that are supposed to show up that are not hams and interested. So I'm hoping I'm not going to be able to activate, and I'm going to be steady at the go-to station.
Goda's a lot of fun to work. Really is. How many stations are y'all running?
3A with the Goda station.
3 Alpha with a Goda. Awesome. What about you, Jason? What are you up to for field day?
I'm going to be working, but I do have some good news. I am part of another ham club. Hayden from DX out of Australia. I'm part of his ham club called Rest, which I'm very happy and proud of. Good guy. Got a good page, and I really like the group and everything. No, I won't be able to say I'm gonna have to work 2 field days. I want to, but I can't. But that's about all it's going with me.
So usually for field day, I participate with my club here locally, but due to the vacation schedule, that kind of messed things up a little bit. But one of my things is I'm usually the late night guy. Like I'll stay up all night calling CQ. I find the frequency on 40 and sit on it. And I call CQ all night long. Last year about done me in, though. I told him, I said, I might have to retire from pulling the all-nighter.
we let the young guys pull the all-nighter in our club.
Does that mean I'm not young anymore?
Probably.
Not what you said.
I'll be 37 in a couple of months, so I guess that's up to interpretation.
You're still young.
I want to be your daddy.
My body doesn't feel it.
Oh, wait till you get to be 57.
Well, I am also working it quite a bit right now, trying to, I'm mowing the yard like every 3 or 4 days right now, and did some pressure washing too today, and just trying to keep this place from falling apart before somebody buys it. So, for those of you that don't know, we have found a house. I'm not showing it publicly yet, but we have found a house. So our house is on the market. So if you're looking to move to Maryville, Tennessee, let me know. We've got a house for you. But anyway, we are making progress. But now that the house is on the market, I've constantly got to keep up with it.
Mm-hmm. And I will let everybody know if they want to see what the next Amateur Radio Club's trailer looks like, they can go over to Andy's N0APX's YouTube. When we took it out to the Moore Expo back in April, he actually came by and did an interview with me, and we did a walkthrough of the trailer. And it wasn't actually finished because we got a grant from the ARRL this year to refurbish it. So we can actually truly run all of our stations in the trailer on battery power.
Cool.
That's awesome. It's really awesome. I'm actually trying to pull up Andy's channel now.
I'll be back in a minute. I got a bunch of young executive suite.
That sounds good. Leroy says, what a youngin'. I guess if you call it that. And John says, howdy back to you, Hillbilly Ham. John, KR4 CBI. I'm trying to see here. I got his channel. I'm trying to find that video.
Yeah, I don't know if it was, no, it would have been under his videos.
There it is. I just found it. Sure, why not? Let's show it. We got nothing else to do for a few minutes anyway. Let's see. There we go.
The N0APX here with Dave. We're at the Moore Expo in Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah, them Dave KE6GAE. The Hillbilly Ham, that was what they called me.
Absolutely. Go check Dave out on YouTube. He's got a great channel there. He streams some of the local nuts and stuff. We're going to take a quick look at their trailer here, and they've got a comms trailer here. We're going to take a quick look around.
Yeah, this is our comms trailer that we do several things with emergency comms, but we also use it for field day and bring it out to public events like the Moore Expo we're at right now.
Absolutely. Let's take a look. All right, so tell us what we're looking at the back here, Dave.
Well, you can see the rack here. That's where our repeater is for the 2-meter repeater. That's also where our router is for it. We have an inverter system, it's a Victron inverter system. We can run our radios in the trailer completely off of battery power. Awesome. We have two 200 amp hour batteries, but we can also run off shore power. As you see the breakers there, we're actually running off shore power here at the Moore Expo.
Fantastic.
That inverter, when we're connected to shore power, recharges the batteries for us.
Okay.
We're not completely finished. We got a grant to redo our trailer, so we're actually trying to make it a little more, add more stuff to it.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Can we take a look around inside?
Take a look
All right.
Preston's actually doing some stuff on our computer.
All right. What do we got going on over here?
Actually, what are you working on there, Preston?
Trying to get APRS up and working.
Fantastic. So what rig
know
are you
Nolan
using
was
for
going
the
to be in
APRS?
this.
We have a radio rack, so it's connected to a packet controller, and that interfaces directly with the Raspberry Pi.
Okay.
So the Raspberry Pi can act as either an APRS node, so it will ping our location.
I think I see a Meshtastic node back there.
Okay,
yes.
sounds good. And what else are we looking at in here? It's like we got a lot of rigs in here.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of radios in here. We have a dual band radio here, a Yaesu. We have a scanner over here. It's the new unit
Yaesu 400,
scanner.
good radio.
So it can pick up pretty much everything. 6 meters, 1.25 meters, 900 megahertz over there. And then over here are 2 HF rigs.
Okay. And what are we looking at here? A 950 and
An FT950.
okay, they're both FT950s, and of course we can't forget the Dr. Pepper. All right, it looks like you guys got a lot of screens set up in here.
Every HF rig has a computer where we can not only do our logging, we can do digital with them. We normally have a third rig that goes over there for field day.
All right, sounds good. And then what are we looking at up here on the screen up here on the wall?
That is actually the repeater page of our website, nexahams.net.
Okay, yeah, nexahams.net, guys, check that out. And then over here on the other side.
This one, we can put ham clock on this one, right? We're going to.
Okay, go put a ham clock over there. All right.
There's other things we can put up on there.
Absolutely.
With that.
Fantastic. Well, looks absolutely amazing. Looks like you got foot PTT switches. That's always a nice bonus. Yeah, looks great, guys. Well, thank you for giving us the tour and letting us check it out. We appreciate it, Dave.
Thanks for coming in, Andy.
All right, yeah, you guys have a good one.
And we were actually still doing work on it. There we weren't completely finished. We still got to redo the wraps on the outside. Our logos need to be replaced, but the logos on it are 10 years old. They're starting to deteriorate.
Well, y'all have done a fantastic job in there. That looks awesome.
Yes, it does.
So,
it seemed to be a popular deal because what More Expo is, it's an overlanding expo.
Right. I know Jason went. Jason and a bunch of his crew went up there. Frank was there.
I was out there last year, and I was at Alpha Antenna's booth helping Steve. And the questions and the talk that we got, I just felt it was a prime spot to take out and bring amateur radio to the overlanders. And the trailer was steady all weekend long.
To me, now I know that it's an overlanding show, but based off of what Jason told me and all them, that's liable to turn into a ham fest real quick.
We're working on it.
I'd love to make it to that. I've never been to Oklahoma, though.
It's not Oklahoma. It's in Missouri.
I thought it was Moore, Oklahoma.
Nope. The Moore Expo is in Springfield, Missouri, the home of Bass Pro.
This whole time I've had it wrong the whole time. What's wrong with me? Well, interesting. All right. Maybe. I got to see what the Hamfest tour looks like next year. So
yeah, if anybody's in watching the shows around the Springfield area, come on out to SB Elementary in Nixa, Missouri, and check out the Nixa Amateur Radio Club's field day.
Wow, that's cool. Well, like I said, this weekend we got the Knoxville Ham Fest around here, so it's about a medium-sized fest. I won't call it a big one, but it's not a small one either. This might, if some of you folks watch the Sevier County Ham Fest that I featured, it's probably going to be similar to that. The next and last big one I've got of the year is Huntsville. So that's coming up in a couple of months. And y'all, I got to tell you, I'm getting a little cold feet about that Huntsville deal.
Why?
Camping. I haven't roughed it since I was a kid. So we'll see. I'll be all right.
Camping, or you?
Yeah, I am tent camping directly across from Ham Radio 2.0. Me and him are going to be neighbors.
I'm too old. I don't sleep on the ground no more.
Well, I've got a blow-up mattress. I need to put the tent together and see what it looks like, and maybe I can use the blow-up mattress in it. But we'll just have to see. Bill's here. KK4PAL, Ham Radio Unleashed. Bill, if you got anything you want to put in the show, I'm putting the link in the chat right there. If you got anything you want to sell, I'm sure you're probably saving it all for Saturday. Well, what else has been going on this week? I mean, other than this crazy war that everybody's keeping an eye on.
Yep.
Rain's had me keep my HF antenna down. I took a lightning strike. What was it? 2 years ago on an antenna I was putting up that had never even been connected to a radio. And it literally blew the onion on the base of the 05 antenna, blew it apart. Lightning found some old satellite coax that was buried in the ground and traveled underground to the house. So when it storms anymore, my 6B TV gets laid to the ground. But finally got to put it up today, and actually didn't get to play much on the radio, but listening to it, bands don't sound too bad today.
I need to put so I've got that Outbacker antenna on my truck, and almost every day I have just scrolled the band on 20 meters, and it's all noise. Occasionally I'll hear a QSO going on, and I've been putting it off saying, oh, the bands are just garbage, but
are you getting some alternator noise or something?
No alternator noise. It's I need to take the advice I've been given and get a ground strap on it and see if that helps out the noise. We've got a ton of high voltage lines around town, so I'm wondering if that's what I'm hearing.
RF from high voltage will definitely wipe out a radio's front end.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it will.
Sure enough.
Hey, John, I was going to throw this in that. You can always ask Andy how to, pitch up a tent.
What? Say it again.
I said you can always ask Andy to help you pitch up a tent.
I don't think he's making it to Huntsville, though.
Oh.
I don't think, at least last I heard, I don't think he, at least I don't think he said that. Bill says he's got some ground strap stuff. We'll bring it on Saturday. We'll make a deal. So, oh, Chris is in the house.
Chris is here.
Hillbilly.
What's up, Chris? Hillbilly.
Guys, don't forget, if you're the ones that are just coming in late, if you want to see the clip, you know what you got to do. Hit that flashing button down at the chat there. Jason already pulled it way too early, so y'all missed out. And if you're just tuning in too, we have not seen Nolan yet. I haven't heard from him, so I don't know if he's going to make it in tonight. But we've also Andy said he will be here at some point. He's out celebrating the XYL's birthday. Or she actually, knowing Andy's age, that's probably more of a YL than an XYL. What do you think, Dave?
Yes.
You better say that. You might get in trouble.
And see, I actually, when we go out places and I get to see her, so yes.
Chris says free giveaway soon, HT, and not a cheap Yaesu HT. Oh Lord, I don't know about that.
Giving away a D75, Chris?
If he wants to, I'll bring him on the channel. He can do it right here. And y'all, here we go. Got to do it. Play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man. All right,
I got to find another clip. Thanks for the two, of course, Jay. See, and what's weird to me is I'm getting two from somebody sitting. I got to learn how to do my fingers on camera.
You're pointing the right direction.
right next to me. Well, I started pointing this way, but that's towards my wife. Oh, anyway. Got to play the clip. Love it. All right. Let's see here. Chris says LOL. So anyway.
So you didn't answer, Chris. Is it going to be a D75?
He should do it. Is he giving it away on his channel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know he is.
Might need to bring him on sometime. I think he sent me a message actually this week about that. Oh, I forgot about Tank. Tank was going to come on this week, and
yeah, it's the A2. He said.
Never heard from him.
And I'm just trying to help you get that roar quicker, Josh.
Oh well.
Is that what he's giving away?
I wish.
Which reminds me, we've got a couple little things I need to discuss here. So y'all, most of you probably saw I did the 8,000 subscriber celebration earlier today. We hit it earlier today. Well, you know what sucks? Is you get this happen. Like, really? We hit it. I made the post.
It's come back up because YouTube saying $7.99 on this side, at least on my side.
Where do we lose a 3?
Got me. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw it 8,000.
Well, if you guys are watching, hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Get that number back to 8,000 where it should be. Remember, 10,000's the magic number. When we do that, I'm going to give away radio right here on the stream. Still haven't decided what that radio is, though. But we're going to do it.
KK4PAL said you're giving away a Zubitix.
That's not a bad idea, actually. Maybe. Tommy B's in the house. Good evening. I'll still have 2 DJI drones to trade for an ICOM 7300. If I didn't need my 7300, I'd consider that, but I need my 7300. I like my 7300. Now, if you have a 7610 and want to trade for a 7300, hit your boy up.
Chris, but who's getting a better deal here?
Chris says, look, I have 3 accounts. The whole family subbed. It's awesome. It's awesome. It'll come back up. I'm not that worried about it. Tommy's just still waiting on his ticket. Wait a minute.
When did you pass?
That was over a week ago.
He should have had his license by now.
It depends. It depends.
It does depend.
Because if they're still doing paper, it could take 2 weeks depending on when that BE sends that paperwork in.
Yeah. And plus it's got to go through the BEC too.
Well, and if you're dealing with the ARRL, I mean, you never know. There's sometimes that they get them through next day, and there's sometimes it can take weeks and weeks and weeks for it to come through. So, you know,
he just got his technician, right?
I think so. I think so. Yeah. Well,
Tommy, you just passed your tech, right?
And I'll tell you this: I work with Westcar's VEC on some things, and we do paper testing. But paper testing still isn't an excuse. If your team lead or whatever you want to call it is still handling everything through mail, you need to find another team lead. I mean, it's for what we do is he literally picks up the phone, calls the VEC, and says, "I have FRN number blah 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 blah. They have passed element 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever it is.
2, 3, or 4.
Yep. And then done. They send it to the FCC right then and there, and just with the benefit of the doubt, you know, and go ahead and apply for the license, and they have their license next day. You know,
well, they're going to email the CSE anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, especially with upgrades, I mean, you've got the Alpha Golf and the Alpha Echo, but still, I mean, this is 2025, people. Quit relying on the United States Postal Service.
Yeah, mail. Yeah.
Hey, it could have been like back when I got mine. It took a month and a half to get my paperwork.
I've heard some horror stories from lifelong hams that are.
This was back in the early 90s. There was no computer testing.
Yeah.
You went to one central location. It wasn't clubs.
Was the FCC still doing it?
No, it was a little better then. You didn't have to go to an FCC office, but it had to be an FCC approved meeting, and they usually tested 40 or 50 people minimum when they do it. I mean, when I got my testing, Gordon West was actually one of my VEs at my testing session.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Well, I've heard from some old timers, back in the days of doing it through the FCC, going to the FCC office.
Yep.
6 months.
Yep.
That's a hockey season.
I can't imagine.
Actually, I said a month and a half. I think it was 2 months for me to finally get. And back then, you had to have paper in hand before you could do anything on the radio.
Yep, because there was no ULS.
Nope.
Chris says, Josh, I'm also a VE. Let's get it together. Slow mail is just that. It's 2025, and by the way, I'm near Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, by the way. So it's funny you guys are talking about VEs, because I used to run the VE team, and I still do to an extent. Matter of fact, down below me, like right here at my foot, I have a couple Pelican cases with 10 Chromebooks in them, and we would do exams that way. But I also did them here on Zoom. Well, not here on Zoom, but on Zoom. I've been thinking once this house stuff settles down, I might start a VE team again. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I know Josh works with one, Ham Radio Crash Course.
Yeah.
I'm a little leery, though, getting involved in VEs, because that's part of the reason I gave it up, because I started the channel, and I had a bunch of my VEs threaten to quit me because I had the partnership with Ham Radio Prep. They called it a conflict of interest, but I've been in this a year now. I don't see it. I don't see it as a conflict of interest.
I don't either.
What do you guys think?
Why did they think it was a conflict of interest? Because of being paid, Ham Radio Prep, you paying for their testing and them sponsoring you?
I think so. I think that's what they're getting at. I think it's a stretch, if you ask me.
I think it's bogus when you were talking about it beforehand. I agree with Dave. Where's the conflict?
Mm-hmm.
I could see where they'd see it, but in today's day, I mean, it's not like you're trying to push everybody to Ham Radio Prep. I'm saying they have to do that to go through your VE.
No.
And that kind of stuff would definitely be a conflict of interest.
Right.
And if I caught you doing that kind of stuff, Josh, you'd probably hear from me.
Well, I'm a VE too, and I work for GAR, and we don't do that.
Yeah. But it's a lot of work, though. It's a lot. There's no way I could test in the volume I used to. Like, I was testing 4 to 5 nights a week. No way.
Well, I know, like the Clubhouse and Toads, they've got a deal together where they test once a month online. So I don't see where it'd be a conflict of interest for you, Josh.
Just John says, John says, almost ready to take my general. Are you telling me I need to find a different V? John, I'll make it happen for you for sure. We'll get the guys together and do it the same way before. That's the way I operate now. Is if somebody asks me, or if somebody asks me locally to do an exam, I'll do it. I don't care. It's easy. I don't do it anything. I don't schedule anything out at this point. Chris says if he's not making a phone call, yes. Who's not making a phone call? Did I miss
Talk
something?
about the BE. Well, you said you said if they're not calling a BE coordinator saying, "Hey, he's passed," that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, or in our case with ARRL and WD5YI through exam tools, all I have to do is run the file off, or forget what I think they call a VEC archive or something like that, and I just send it straight to the ARRL or WD5YI, whoever's the sanctioned exam group. It's very simple now. There's no phone call even involved, and that's why you run it through PayPal. You get your deposit. They take it straight out. Boom, it's done.
W5IY is probably better than ARRL because I know guys that have even tested on the computer with ARRL, and it still took them time to get their license back.
Yeah.
I had mine in 24 hours.
Yeah, mine. When I took mine, well, my technician took forever, but my rest took about 24 hours for my demo and amateur extra.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to remember. So when I got my technician in 2010, it took about a week. General was the same way, but I was Alpha Golf, so it didn't matter. My extra, I actually failed on the first attempt. Missed it by 1, I think. And that was through ARRL. I took it again the next day through WD5YI and got it by 1. And I, of course, was Alpha Echo then, but it was already in ULS the next day, so.
And Ray Elmer said he had his tech in 1982.
1982. Not bad.
So he came in as a true tech.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he was 85 when they split them and did the techno code and the tech.
Yeah, they still had code back then.
Well, they still had code back when I did mine. I came in as a tech no code, and the only thing you got as a tech no code back then was UHF VHF. You didn't get no HF privileges until you took the 5 words a minute to get Tech Plus.
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
You know, speaking of code, I actually downloaded the Morse MADI the other day and started playing with it. I don't know if that's going to be a way for me to learn it or not.
Everybody learns different. Long Island CW Club might be the way for you to learn, Josh.
Maybe I need to look into them for sure. But sitting there playing with that app. Here's the trick, or the thing about it is, it's teaching me to recognize it by ear. Fine, but it's not teaching me to pound it out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And listening to it and pounding it out is not the same thing, if you ask me.
Well, that's why everybody learns different.
I think what helped you, Josh, is get a straight keyer and then a CW little machine. I can't remember what they're called.
Oscillator.
Oscillator, thank you.
Yep.
And just play with it. Do the dot, you know, play with it. Or when my friend learned it, he said, imagine CW as music. And you're trying to make the beautiful song in the world in one. And that's how he learned CW. But I agree with Dave. Everybody learns different.
You know, I have used that. You know, I have thought about that. You know, thinking of it as like sight reading music, at least the rhythm part of music. You know, quarter note, half note, triplets, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, all the beats. Yeah. You know.
Problem is, I was not a good sight reader. I think music.
I think that's part of what helped me pick it up back in the early 90s, pick it up pretty good. And now once work slows down, I'm going to go back and restart learning it again because I'm going to teach myself all over again. But back in the 80s, I played in bands, and I think music is associating with music and tempos is what helped me pick up decoding CW pretty quick.
Yeah.
I'll give you another example of how it pertains to CW. When I was a truck driver, I used music to learn how to shift. You know what song I used to learn how to shift? You ever watch that movie, The Addams Family, the song?
Oh yeah.
You use that to learn how to float?
No, I did that on my own. I learned how to double clutch with that.
Yeah, rookie truck drivers double clutch.
I had to do it. I had to do it to my test, Dad. But no, like I was saying, Josh, if you get the Addams Family song in your head, the beat, it goes the Addams Family, dunk, dunk. Shifting's the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Dunk,
yep.
dunk.
It's interesting you bring that up. That's a little known fact about me is back in, I guess it was 2010, 2011, something like that. I had this bright idea to go truck driving. So I went to C1 truck driving school in Indianapolis. Made it through the classroom portion fine, no problem. Made it through the range fine. And that was one thing they taught you. It was the rev up, clutch, just like the Addams Family.
It's the same beat.
They got me on the road, and the instructor thought he was in the United States Marine Corps, and I told him where to go and how to get there. Came back home to Tennessee.
Sounds like my instructor.
Yep. So I was a young 22-year-old hot-headed son of a you-know-what, and I was like, nope, I'm going home. Ain't doing this. It ain't worth it.
But yeah, that's how I learned how to shift for double clutching.
Yep.
As Dad pointed out, floating is different.
Well, no, you're right. That's actually a perfect song to learn double clutching, and knowing how to double clutch. Floating, everybody thinks floating's easy. Floating's an art. I don't care what people say. Floating's an art.
Yes.
But yeah, doing stuff like that if associated with stuff like that helps you pick something up quicker, then that's the way you should learn.
You know, that's good pedagogy in general is, whatever helps you grasp a concept, that's what you need to do. It's as simple
I teach my students too. I teach each one of my students that technique because they would be the same way like Dave said. They're getting that truck and it didn't matter what you told them that the gears ain't synchronized. And they would grind the crap out of my gears and almost burn my clutch out. And I was like, no, stop. You're costing me money. All right, we got to quit this. So I taught them the Addams Family technique and smooth as butter.
Yeah. David Wright's in the house. Good evening from W9AZM. Good evening, buddy. Good to see you.
Good evening, Dave.
Yeah.
But if you use that technique, Josh, you would have been fine.
Well, I know it was shortly after I got my technician ticket, and I had a bright idea because I love to travel. And my bright idea was putting a 2-meter rig in the truck and going down the road.
Right.
A lot more to it than that.
Well, and a lot of those people out there try to get these young guys in. Because I used to have to deal with some of those guys, and they'd come in. Oh, this is going to be a great career, and if they're over the road, I'd tell them right off the bat, forget about being a great career. This is a lifestyle. If you can't handle this lifestyle, and you don't have if you're married, and you don't have a good woman standing behind you at home, you better get off the road now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I've got a real good one because while I was on the road, she was running everything with the kids, running the house, running everything. So it's a lifestyle.
Oh yeah.
Dave,
well,
Dave, go ahead, Josh.
I was going to say, if I had gone through with it and hit the road, I wouldn't be where I am today. 100%. No way.
Well, Dave will know this one.
Hit Leroy real quick. Retired to 50 years driving trucks, including fire trucks. I would rather float gears than using clutch.
I agree 100%.
Yes.
The only time I used the clutch was when I was coming to a stop.
Reverse and reverse and stop. Yep.
What were you going to say, Jason?
Oh, what I was going to say is what add to Dave said. What I was told in the beginning of this career, just the same thing. It's not an easy job. It's a lifestyle. Some people can do it. Some people can't. Trucking is not made for everybody. Not everybody can do it. And I learned that firsthand real quick, what Dave said. You're going to do it or not. And if you don't have a good family or a good support group, yeah, like Dave said, you better just get off the road, because if you don't, it's just going to go sour.
Oh yeah, you're never home. You never are.
No.
Leroy says had a dual band radio and a CB in the truck.
Nice.
Very nice.
I had President Richard.
I still play with CBs. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there go off. GMRS, CB, they all got their place.
Mm-hmm. They sure do.
Just another tool in the toolbox.
Although most all you hear on CB nowadays is lock lizards. That's really loud.
Yeah.
Or some drunk screaming through the microphone.
Or someone like Dave running a Sweet 16.
That was a long time ago.
M. Williams 5555. Boy, that's a lot of fives.
No kidding.
Good
Go
evening.
Get your ticket.
Code stopped me from getting my ticket.
Go
Been
get your
thinking
ticket.
about trying again. Can pass the test 100%. About 70 to 80% on the general test. Dude, what are you waiting on?
Go for it. Yeah.
Go get your ticket, because that code's not required anymore.
For any of the classes, all the way up to extra. No code at all.
Nope.
Now, you've got some sad hams out there that'll razz you for not getting code, but you know what? Screw them.
When I got my techno code, I was told I wasn't a real ham because I didn't test code back in the 90s.
Here's another thing you need to look at. I got told this in my and I've heard this on the grapevine. You know, when you guys have the tech, the general, and amateur extra license test, they're about to change the whole test format. They're going to take the old version and remove it and put a new question pool in here soon. Well, I've been told. They've already done it part-time.
They do that. It's every
4 years.
Yeah, every 4 years. They've always done that. They change the question pools.
Yeah, well, they just on the what was it, general or tech? They took like 3 questions out because they kept repeating itself.
Yeah, so how it works is they 1 year they'll do the technician test. They'll change the question pool for it. The next year they'll change the general test, and the same on the third year for the extra. Then they'll skip a year and leave it all the same, and then they start the cycle all over again. That's my understanding of it.
Right.
M. Williams says, I stopped with radio in 2001. Wife got scared, had 8 antennas.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, if you're not a ham, what in the world were you doing with 8 antennas? I mean, guess probably scanner, TV antenna, maybe CB.
Or you could put beams and verticals and all that stuff, just even with CB.
Oh, yeah.
You can have multiple antennas.
I guess that's a good point. Yeah, my dad was big into CB back in the 70s, early 80s, something like that. He had a Mako amplifier and set of beams and all that.
Like that.
Good Lord. They told him that he had people all over Athens, Tennessee, come to him and say, you blew out my TV. I could hear you coming through everything.
There's a point, and I'll go ahead, David. There was a point in time with my CB, I won't say what kind of power it was, but I can order my food through the McDonald's headset because they can hear me.
Oh,
and I can be a couple of miles away.
Well, back in the 80s, I used to have fun with that. Start talking to people through their radios and watch them freak out in their car. But I saw a thing in the chat. David Wright said he passed 5 words per minute, never used it after passing it. You know, when there was a code requirement, David, CW was actually dying. Now that they've gotten rid of the code requirement, CW is probably the most popular it's been in a long time in ham radio.
I've got friends that are my age and younger that desire to learn code.
And
but
you learned code.
Yeah, but whenever I got into the hobby, 15 years ago, nobody my age could care less about it. It was about either getting on and talking on repeaters, maybe sideband, maybe, or it was DMR or D-Star at the time. Because Fusion wasn't a thing yet.
No.
I mean, they were making radios with wires X, but nobody was really using it yet.
Oh.
Oh.
I was gonna ask a question. I just drew a blank. I told you I was tired. Yesterday was a long day.
We were talking about code. You said there's no reason to do code.
Well, I was talking to David about his chat.
M. Williams says, had a bunch of dipoles with switch boxes, horizontal and vertical, sloped, and full wave sky loop. Holy crap!
He's already ready to come into the ham radio world. He already knows about all the best antennas for ham radio.
Just go ahead and set up an appointment at your local courthouse for a bankruptcy hearing, because you're gonna get back into this and have a ball.
Yeah, but see, he probably built all his own antennas. You save money right there.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
I'm just waiting for him to put the hex antenna on there. That's the only antenna he don't have on there yet. Oh, I just gave him an idea.
I bet he could make one.
Oh, I bet.
I need some more property so I can put a big 160 sky loop up.
Good Lord.
And what would you talk to? The moon?
Oh no, there's a lot of stuff going on 160.
I've heard.
I've gotten a few contacts on 160 FT8, but I've never had a single sideband QSO up there.
I've had one, and I barely got it.
Mm-hmm. Chris says, invite people Josh StreamYard. Huh? Not sure what that means. If you got something to buy, sell, or trade, absolutely come on. M. Williams says, I wish I had an Elmer that lived, I had an Elmer that lived close. Great guy, Silent Key now. I hate to hear that.
Where's he live at?
Hard to say. He can he can let us know in the chat though. But yeah, no doubt, dude. If you can pass it, go for it. Go get the stupid shoot. It wouldn't surprise me if he couldn't be a unicorn. Andy. That's ironic. We were just talking about Andy a minute ago.
Andy, okay.
I'm trying to think if I know any hams in Indiana anywhere.
I know some north of there. Tim's up there.
Yeah. Gray Man.
Punk rock. That's Tim.
Punk rock
Radio's up there.
Carlos is in Illinois, isn't he?
Yeah, but I think he's close where he's at in Illinois. I think he's close to Tim and Punk Rock Radio.
M. Williams, you need to go to Life at Terminal Velocity and look for Parachute Jesus. That he would be a heck of a Elmer for you.
Oh yeah, he would.
He'll have him jumping out of planes.
Yes, he will.
Oh yeah, he would.
Perfectly working airplanes.
Speaking of which, I'm waiting for him to release the second video of a second jump at Dayton. He hadn't released it yet. I worked it. No, he released the first jump, which was the kids' jump.
Okay.
He hasn't released the one with everybody else. And I got to work him, and of all the probably 15,000 QSOs I've had over my ham radio career, that was my favorite one of all time. Working Carlos Parachute Mobile. That's awesome.
Sounds like you need a message up and see what's going on.
Yeah, I talked to him the other day. He's just a busy guy. That's all.
So nobody had anything for sale tonight, huh?
Nobody. I have my 5100 still, but that's about it.
Okay, I got some for sale.
Uh-oh.
Myself for $1.
No, he wants to see a clip.
I was going to say he's got to get some of that money back that he spent on selling the clip.
Yeah, no kidding.
M. Williams says, want to get where I can get general practice test at 90%.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. So my rule of thumb when I was running a VE team, I told folks, you need to pass the practice test 5 times in a row at 80% or above. Once you're there, you're going to pass that test.
He has used Ham Study, right?
Ham Study's good. Ham Radio Prep, of course, is good. Prep is just a more expensive, or is a pricier option, whereas Ham Study is just a test. That's all it is. It's not teaching you anything. It's just a test. But yeah, you can take those practice tests on hamstudy.org, and it's pretty easy. And there's also online VE teams that you can get hooked up with through hamstudy.org and take your test from the comfort of home.
Yeah, because you can actually, if I remember right, you can actually schedule your test right there on hamstudy.org.
You sure can.
That's the way I did mine all remotely.
Well, hamstudy.org is actually tied to Exam Tools. Yeah, they're basically one and the same.
And Signal Stick.
Yeah, and Signal Stick. Only 80%. I feel better with 90. If you feel better at 90, go for it. Keep working to the 90s. But yeah, that's just the statistics that I learned was 80% or better on 5 tests in a row, and you're ready.
Yeah, that's what they told me.
Yep. Well, I dropped in the Discord, our private Discord. Anybody else coming? I ain't heard from anybody yet, so it may just be us.
My apps is on my Android. Yep, they'll work on Android. Yeah.
Android, iPhone, you name it. Now, anybody that's just getting into the hobby, let me give you a word of advice. If you can stomach Windows, you need Windows. And if you can stomach Android, you need Android. Most everything in ham radio is based off of Windows or Android for whatever reason. I'm a Mac guy. So the way I get around that is I use Parallels. But, yeah.
Well, I can tell you why it's on Android, because a lot of those guys don't necessarily sell their apps. Mm-hmm. And whether you sell it or not, Apple, you have to pay them.
Yep.
Android, you do not have to pay if you're not selling the app.
Nope.
I never knew that.
That is why I won't even learn how to program stuff for Apple.
Nope.
That's interesting. I wonder how that correlates over to desktop, because for years and years,
because Windows is sold, is why.
Well, that's true too. But for years and years and years, Ham Radio Deluxe has been saying that they were going to do a Mac application. They've yet to do it. Supposedly that's coming on the next go around, but I've wondered if it's some sort of a restriction like that.
Could be.
David says advertised for you on 3816 just now. That's funny you say that, because I'm actually sitting pretty close to 3816. Well, spin the dial down there.
Dave's right. Doesn't matter what Apple apps, you gotta pay for them before you even open them or use them. No matter what. Where Android, you don't.
Well, I'm talking about whoever's developing it. You gotta pay to put it on their platform.
Oh yeah.
But guys, I'm gonna have to drop. I need to check into 2 meter net, and then I'm gonna call it a night. A 2 meter simplex net. But it's been a good night. Everybody in the chat. I know this is Josh's stream, but I'd appreciate it if you go by KE6GAE the Hillbilly Ham and give me a subscribe.
Y'all need to do that. Y'all need to do that for sure. You know what? Honestly, Dave, I'm probably going to do the same. Called a little early this week. That's all right. That's all right. We'll get back into it. Don't forget, guys, next week Andy will be here. Well, let me just go ahead and throw the music.
I'll make sure I'm here so I can be part of the train wreck.
Yeah.
Next week, run the show. I will be out. So if he screws up, it's his fault, not mine. Come on.
And the free radio giveaway, if you want to do this for me, the 7610 will be perfect.
7610. My goodness. Maybe not.
Hey, Jason, I know what we'll do next week. We'll get
What's
everybody. We'll get his 10,000 subscribers. He ain't gonna like what he's gonna be giving away, though.
I ain't giving away no damn Aurora. Get that out of your head.
Oh,
well, I was thinking maybe we'd let Nolan come up with one of the XK.
Oh, no, Dave. I got one better yet. The Yaesu 101 MP.
Not a bad radio. Not a bad radio.
Or the Aurora.
Well,
heck, he's got
thing is, if he was going to give a 101 away, he should have bought that 2 weeks ago on Jason's stream.
There you go.
$1,000 off on that 101.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, guys, let's wrap it here. Don't forget Knoxville Ham Fest this Saturday morning. If you are in the East Tennessee area, go check it out. You'll see me there. If you see me with my camera, come up and say howdy. Otherwise, guys, make sure you tune in next Thursday night, 8 o'clock right here on HamShackTV. Andy N0 APX will be your guest host. Give him a hard time. We'll see you next week. 73s, everybody. A4WX, WSCB 693.
Click like and subscribe, too.
You better believe that crap. And you know what time it is?
Y'all.
It's time for the freebie.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.